Good news, everyone! Actually, I don't have to do much replaying. I figured out that I was spotted in that last little section in the backyard. So basically it's going to be super easy for me to go through it again now and try not to get spotted, and then I can do it with the ghost achievement on it as well. So perfect! I just have to do it a little bit more. Anyway, just wanted to let you know because obviously it's quite big for me to tell you. So there we go. Anyway, I'll see you later. Hello and welcome back to Dishonored. This is a pointing episode, so basically if you don't want to listen to me reading off some books, then you don't have to watch it. But if you want to hear what the books have to say, and hear about the lore and stuff of the world, then feel free to stick around and I'll read them off in like a database sort of format. Anyway, let me just find a nice spot to sit down. There we go. We'll sit on the boat. The book boat. Possibly. I'm not too sure. Anyway, let's read them off, shall we? So, let's go to books. Here we go. I think the first one is this one. Call to the Spheres, Volume 1. Excerpt from a work of fiction, early chapters. My stomach's twisted as the engines of the old vessel roared louder. It was the creation of Orcachodo, third perfect from the Academy of Natural Philosophy. He was exhilarated, savouring each of the small craft's undulations. Orchado pulled a lever, and a great gout of smoke surrounded us. The smell was burning whale oil grew unbearable as the machine propelled itself upward. I was too afraid to look through the window, which suddenly didn't feel thick enough. As if knowing my thoughts, Overseer Brian looked at me and smiled. Recite some of the litany, my pupil. It will protect your heart from the temperature of the void on our way to the outer spheres. What the bloody hell was that? Cool. T.O. The Outsider. The Outsider, excerpt from a diary of a known heretic seized before his execution. For most the outsider is nothing but a child's tale made to instill fear of that beyond the family, the community. When I was a young boy, my mother and I were on the run, moving from one village or sea town to the next, coping in the woods for weeks, always with the cursed overseers at our backs. At night she told me of her dreams, of the empty place where the outsider whispered to her. With each visit her craft grew, until she could see through the eyes of moths and unlock a door or window, latch from outside a house. I will find this empty place. Somehow the key to open the void will fall into my hands. In time I will learn the secrets, and he will call to me as he called to her. Call me a heretic for my studies. Drag me to your cold stone cell. Whip my flesh and put me on a trial as an apostate. Burn my body to ash, but I will continue to seek the realm of which my mother spoke. It is my life's meaning. Cool, right. So now we're going to go over to notes, just so I go through my list. It's the draft thingies. Here we go. Right. Apprentice Draft 1. Bartholomew, I'm sick of moping your floors and dusting your shelves, all of this in hopes of receiving the crumbs of knowledge that you cast my way. If you think I'm going to wait around forever... End. Apprenticeship Draft 2. Dear High Artificer. Maybe is that? Artifact. It's either Artifactor or Artificer. This is my... I was going to say I thought it was going to be... I didn't think it was Artificer at first, but I was actually looking at it. I think it might actually be Artificer. Artifactors. Because Artifactor doesn't sound right, but Artificer. And I think it was Artifactor. This is in regards to my being chosen for the position of your apprentice. If I don't mind you, I will appreciate it if you look at my record of service over the last several months. You'll find that I have been... End. Apprentice Draft 3. High Artificer. Artifactor. I was visited by Holger himself in my dreams last night. He told me I was to do great works for this abbey, to cast out darkness where I find it, to help arm my brothers with weapons that reach beyond the physical and into the very heart of the outsider. I think that I am ready for this task. End. Apprenticeship. High Artifactor Bartholomew. I would appreciate it if you consider promoting me to your apprentice, formally, so that I might work with you full time. Thank you, Humphrey. Notice how my voice changed there, so it was different. Okay then, so, final warning. I actually got a little thing from this, a hint. Final warning, Edmund. It has come to my attention that you know where my sanctum is if I catch you loitering by the statue of Holger again, hoping to run into any, perhaps, liaise with one of my guests. I'll have you branded a heretic and cast out of the city. Regards, High Overseer Campbell. Yes, that's actually told me where his secret lair was, even though I already know where it is because I found it. Okay, right, what's next? Last night? It is. Last night. This is actually very interesting. Windham, last night was wonderful. I am right at this moment imagining your arms around me and your breath on my neck. I feared for our lives when your fellow overseers found us, but you proved resourceful as always. And no, I won't take your slurs and threats personally, for I know you were merely trying to throw off any suspicions they might have for us. I hope to see you again, perhaps in 2 nights when you have leave once more. Darlon. Basically, that, I think they're 2 guys. I think that is, isn't it? I don't know. It's what the wiki said, but apparently it doesn't say if they are, but apparently that's what the wiki said. Anyway, what's next? We miss you. Dear Harold, I don't generally do this, but I came across a letter your parents sent when you were first taken to Whitecliff. Remember that... I was right, Whitecliff is the place. Remember that we have rules in place to spare you the decision of trying to make contact with them. We can no longer walk among those who seek to protect. Yeah, basically I was saying about the Whitecliff. Was that the place where people get changed into overseers? And it is. If you would at least read this letter to him. Though your motives may be just, we know he's probably scared right now and we are just unable to be there for him. Son, we miss you. We're so sorry we can't come to you now and take you from wherever they've stolen you away. Be strong, son. We know you will see your way through. Please remember us and try to find us when you are free. We love you, Mama and Papa. Cool, what's next? Be warned. Be warned, I found one of our brothers accepting to put a package in the post box for the others to find. I believe that it has the evidence of your sister's involvement in witchcraft you spoke to me about. I am tempted to stop him, but he insisted that I will burn for her crimes if I was attempting to cover her deeds. You shall warn her. See if the 2 of you can flee the city before they reach her. Your friend and brother. No one. Yeah, that's actually a little prelude to the 2 I saved down by the bridge. Great, what's next then? Concerning the crossbows. Campbell! We initially thought it a great find when we came across some of the crossbows that the assassins had been using to harry our patrol. The models we found, however, have proven lacking. Lacking. Dord's men have greater accuracy and range, and I swear theirs reload faster. I'm recommending that we stick with pistols and sabres and count this as a lesson in where our strengths lie. Sincerely, High Artifactor Bartholomew. Right, next one is TMM. In fact, let's read Exploding Hounds. And then we've read the rest, haven't we? Yeah. So, Exploding Hounds. Bartholomew, I've seen the harnesses you've been devising in that workshop of yours. If you plan to strap explosives to my precious hounds and make living bombs out of them, you can count me out of it, your plan. I'm the master of the hounds here, and without my training, they'll never do as your request. Signed, Houndmaster Walton. Great, of course, that's all of them then. So, just books now then. So, I think it's this one, isn't it? TMM. Seems to be a few books on here that I haven't actually written down. That's right, I can remember what they were. Anyway, this one's the next one. The Metaphysica Mysterium. Excerpt from a longer banned work of Sutra and Apple ritual. It is said that we should not sully our hands when combating the forces of the void. My studies have been deemed heretical of my brothers, but my rewards have been invaluable. I have harnessed the same energies employed by the outsider and his accursed followers. While avoiding their corruption, I will perceive a 2-fold method in this text. In direction. Out of the wholesome powers of the overseer, we use living flesh as a conduit. We can avoid being tainted by using the flesh of others instead. Containment. By using channels and barriers, we can focus these void energies into a raw state, shielding them from the perverse perspectives of the outsider. No idea what that means. The Ancient Music. This is about that box thing, the music box that was playing, if you remember when we did that in the missions. Except from a longer work. Throughout the natural world there are ripples that we can barely perceive with our senses. An ancient music penetrating everything as a fundamental structural rule. Through it we can work wonders without violating the natural world or begging favours from the unfriendly spirits. Throughout my studies I found a 17-note scale derived from this phenomenon. And with the right equipment, those notes allow for astonishing effects, not at least of all these in the ability to calm the turbulent agonizing originating in the void, which we attribute to the outsider. Yeah, basically said about the music, it cuts out bad stuff, which we knew anyway. Don't need to read that. Need to read this one. Excerpt from a report to the Office of the High Overseer by High Overseer Gerard. I was asked, should we not tolerate the past possession of simple bone charms? among the populace. Surely this is a trivial matter, merely a cultural practice seen across the Isles, not as terrible as the creation and converting of more complex actual occult runes. Such an insidious question. This foolish distinction weakens our mission, while the stench of the outsider grows thick around us. Perhaps, as some claim, our ancestors tolerated these cursed practices during the times before our modern empire rose to ease the lives of the lowliest serfs as they paved the routes of civilization. But there is no excuse for witchery in this brightest industrial age. Having adjudicated the trials of many heretics myself, I swear that their eyes, as the clarity of pain took their lives, were grateful to the Liberator. Abduction Manifest, we've read that already. Tales for Children is the last one then. Right then. Excerpt from a set of cautionary tales for children. They say that Jimmy Whitcomb Riley was a brawler. His mates called Smiley. He ran around up and down town, pulling off every kind of crimey. On Bottle Street he hung with the boys, throwing bricks and glass and other toys. They'd start a fight, then run and hide, breaking laughing far and wide. Smiley liked to eat and drink all day and smash the bash the night away. Drunk and all alone he drifted off to sleeping, sitting on the bridge along John Clavering. When he woke, something strange he found, stranger than a singing wolf-hound. He'd become a blue-jawed hackfish, most slimy, and only remembered his name was Smiley. They say that Jimmy Whitcomb Riley was never seen again for all of timey, but he swum around up and down, drinking from the river, crying, "Why me?" Why me? It's quite cool. It's quite funny because it's like the older stuff. Right, that's all the books read then. Like I said, this save file you're watching right now is the one with the failed ghost mission of the last mission. Makes sense. So what I'll do is I'll now reload it. So say goodbye to this timeline. Timeline's going to be recorrected when we go back into next week, in the next episode, where hopefully I would have a ghost achievement on that last mission. Oh, and by the way, if you couldn't tell, this was the pointing episode from the books from the backyard. Right then, I'll see you in the next adventure. Stay safe.